Hey guys, Ravedge here, and today is patch day. 5.2 is officially live on servers, and I am super stoked about it, and I can't wait to tell you guys about the changes and what I'm interpreting most of the changes as, and what I'm going to use, and why. I'm only going to cover the flat monk changes and the Windwalker changes. I don't know enough about Mistweavers to really give a clear statement about that, but if I ever do start playing Mistweaver more, I will then cover that in another vid. But these are going to be the monk changes and the Windwalker changes. So without further ado, let's hop right in. First thing I'm going to talk about is, you know it and you love it, is Ring of Peace. Ring of Peace is a 40-yard range, 45-second cooldown, and the spell readout is forms a sanctuary around the friendly target, causing all nearby enemies within 8 yards to be disarmed and nearby enemy players unable to auto-attack. In addition, enemies who cast a harmful spell within the ring become silenced for 3 seconds. Ring of Peace lasts for 8 seconds. Now, real quick, this has changed a number of times on the PTR before it went live, and for good reason. Originally, you could put this on a enemy, and they would be silenced for 8 seconds, and anywhere they moved, it would follow them. And the simple fact that they ran into their partners, they'd be silenced as well. Me and EmoPie both, when we were playing on the PTR, messing around with it, we're like, either this is going to get nerfed or we're going to be the most overpowered thing in Arena. I'm not too surprised this got nerfed, but at the same time, I feel it still has its uses. With Ring of Peace being able to be cast on another person, you can cast it on one of your party members in Arena, and you can use it to your advantage. So say someone is your healer is getting trained by a heavy melee cleave team, let's just say Rogue Ret or DK Ret. You can go ahead and put Ring of Peace on him, where it's going to disarm the people that are near him, and they can't auto-attack for 8 seconds. Now, if they're running a I don't know what the weapon chain is in this expansion, but if they're running a weapon chain, it will reduce the duration of disarms by 50%, so it'll only be 4 seconds, but still 4 seconds where they can't attack them, like nothing. They got no weapon. So that's going to be huge, and the simple fact that I feel you could set up where you're interrupting a damaging class, like say a mage. If mage is just trucking into me, and I put this on, say, my healer or Shadow Priest, and I say, run next to him, if the mage casts another harmful spell, he's silenced for a couple seconds. That's awesome. So that's going to be something I'm going to want to use a lot and get used to. But real quick, so you guys know what it looks like. They've changed it a number of times, but I like the look of this. It's just a bubble, but you can see where the actual line is very well of what's getting silenced and what isn't. So it's got an okay range. I do like it, and I'm going to be using that. Now I'm using this over Leg Sweep and Charging Oxwave. Leg Sweep, as you all know, latency is a big issue with this because of the simple fact that you would use it right on top of someone and they would not get stunned. And other times you would be kind of a little further away from a target and use it and they'd be stunned. So I feel it's too inconsistent for me to want to use it. However, Charging Oxwave was changed as well. It originally was a 1 minute cooldown, but now it's only 30 seconds. So we have a 30-yard range, 3-second stun on a 30-second cooldown. That's kind of nice, and I'm going to probably test both of these in depth, but right now I'm going with Ring of Peace. The reason I like Charging Oxwave is because it is a ranged stun. However, it is dodgeable. This is not where you just target someone and it'll go flying right at them. It rushes 30 yards in front of me, so wherever I'm facing, if I'm aiming this way and shoot, I'm going to miss. Ring, ring, banana phone. Okay, telemarketer. There we go. The next thing is the simple fact that you have to be aiming at your target, which is, I'm okay with it, but at the same time, it's easy enough to dodge. If people move to the side, they can avoid it because it's not instant. It does travel. Like, see, if I want to hit this guy or this target dummy, I am targeted right at it. I'm gonna fire my spinning ox, or fire the ox, and there you go. The Charging Oxwave stun is applied. If I missed him though, it would not apply it. So that's something I'm a little bit on the fence about, but I'm going to test these more and more in depth. But right now I'm going to be using Ring of Peace. I feel it's got a lot of skill cap to be used on it. If you're really good with it, I feel it could be a deadly tool in your kit. So that's that. And then the next change is the new Windwalker and Brewmaster ability, Nimble Brew. Nimble Brew has made it through the PTR and it is live. I am so happy about this. Nimble Brew is a 2-minute cooldown that clears you of all root, stun, and fear effects, and reduces the duration of future such effects by 60% for 6 seconds. And it's on a 2-minute cooldown, so it is just like another trinket. However, as you can tell, it doesn't clear everything. It doesn't clear sheeps, blinds. It only clears those certain effects, but you need to make sure you're using the right trinket at the right time. If you're against a rogue warlock team and you trinket the warlock sphere with like your PvP trinket or every man for himself, you're going to eat a full blind where Nimble Brew won't break it. You need to make sure you're using the right one. Now when you use Nimble Brew, it will look like this. And as you can see, I'm bubbly and it's giving me a buff. What this buff actually means is if I get any of those effects again right after using Nimble Brew, they will be cut down by more than half, 60%. So a perfect example for me would be a priest that fears you and then his Psi-Fiend that fears you. You know, you would trinket the priest fear and then the 8-second fear, and then his Psi-Fiend would fear you for whether it was 8 seconds, 4 seconds, or if a warlock feared you, it would still be for 4 seconds. When you have that buff, it's going to cut that by more than half. So that 4-second fear would only be 2 seconds, which is just devastating. Nimble Brew is going to be a great, great tool for Windwalkers and Brewmasters, and I feel once you've mastered it, it's just going to change things for you so much. So no more queuing elevator music, guys. The next change I'm going to talk about is Chi Wave. Chi Wave did take a hit. It now, however, does 100% more damage, but is 14% less healing. But no longer costs Chi and is a 15-second cooldown. This has got a bunch of buffs and nerfs mixed into it. For starters, 100% more damage, as you can see, 14k, 20k, 20k, 45k. Now, of course, this is against a level 60 target dummy, but that's extra damage that costs me nothing. No Chi, nothing, just a global cooldown. However, it's now a 15-second cooldown, which does seem quite a little bit long, but let's just notice how long the cooldown is when the last Chi Wave bounce happens. So I'm going to trigger the cooldown and watch the Omni CC down here on my toolbar. It's around 10-second cooldown realistically, 10 or 11-second cooldown. So once it actually finishes, and that's with me right next to the target. If you're further away, it's going to be even longer. So say I'm about right here. No, it's not going to work it because I'm just too far. That's the most annoying part. Let's say I'm right about here. Because this does have it where it can be a little bit lengthier. You know, look, it's already at the 10-second mark. And then 8 seconds is the only bit of the cooldown left on it. So it does have a bit there, but they did change all the healing talents. It's not just Chi Wave. Zen Sphere got a kind of a big nerf in my mind, and I'm not really sure 100% why. I'm going to just talk about real quick what they did change. This is a mouthful. Zen Sphere now has a limit of 2, was originally 1, detonates when either the recipient reaches 35% health or the Zen Sphere is dispelled. No longer costs Chi, has a 10-second cooldown, its periodic damage has been increased by 22%, periodic healing has been reduced by 61%, and its detonation healing has been reduced by 62%. That's a major healing nerf on this spell. So let's just see what it looks like right now. The hot is for 2600 and the damage was for 3k. Ugh. I will not be using Zen Sphere. I think Zen Sphere would be good with leveling or doing like dailies or whatnot, just so you have a constant heal that you can keep up. It's only a 10-second cooldown. The detonate did like 15k damage, but you saw Chi Wave was doing more and whatnot. But in between mobs, like, oh, I'm gonna mount up and run away, like, or go ahead and turn in quests and you lost a little bit of health. Let's get away from that. I don't want to. The range on it. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So you could be like flying back and have your Zen Sphere up and it's healing you. So it does have its still. It's a little bit of its pros, but I see a lot more cons to it now than anything. Next one I'm talking about is Chi Burst. Chi Burst got a little bit of a change up as well. Chi Burst now does 380% more damage, 69% more healing. No longer costs Chi, but it's a 30-second cooldown, so it's a little bit of a lengthy cooldown. But come on, who doesn't like firing up that Chi Wave? If you watched Eat What Buys one vid, he did a huge, I think it was like a 250k crit on the target dummy, and he dubbed in the Kamehameha. That was awesome. Because, I mean, look at that. Perfect cast, and then bam. It hits for 37k. So it could have some damage. I think I might try this around with raiding and see how much fun I'm having with it, but 30-second cooldown could make that a little bit more of a question. I wonder to see how hard it will crit, though, with full raid buffs. Next change I'm going to talk about is Deadly Reach has been removed. Deadly Reach was originally the talent point where Ring of Peace was, and what this is now is you automatically get Deadly Reach. Deadly Reach makes your paralysis 20 yards. Okay? Now, real quick about paralysis, another change to it is the simple fact that it is now a physical debuff. If you don't know what that necessarily is meaning, is the simple fact that, okay, let's go ahead and get that up. As you see, it no longer says magic or anything. It cannot be dispelled by healers. In Arena, BGs, anywhere. The only thing that can break it is, of course, damage. This is huge because the simple fact that it's a physical debuff, I can CC freely a DPS target in Arena and not have to worry about his healer instantly dispelling it. So this is going to be something I'm going to love using in Arena, and this is something I'm going to want to master that much more. Having a 20-yard range at all times on it, let's see how far I could do it. Yes, I'm about to backpedal, but no, I don't normally do this. It's just so I slowly move back. Still? Wow. Let's try over here some. Right here. That's how far. Look at that. Let's zoom that up. That's how far I can deadly reach. Look at that. That is awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, it's definitely a change I'm going to be liking. Make sure you guys get good at using deadly reach now with the just passively being there. If you use leg sweep like I did all the time, you're not used to having it. I sure as can be, I'm not used to it, and I need to make sure I'm using it that much more because it is awesome being able to do that far away. A mage blinks. Oh, hold on. Yeah, just stay right there while I roll over to you now. Build up some chi. Silence. Rising Sun kick. And then, you know, let's just Fist of Fury. All that much more perfect. So, ooh, 100k. So yeah, Deadly Reach, that change, awesome. I'm really liking it. The next thing, Path of Blossoms has been removed. It was always something that like I rarely use, so I'm not missing it too much. But however, the glyph of Path of Blossoms is now Glyph of Paralysis. Glyph of Paralysis, I haven't bought it yet, but I probably should pick it up because I might use it. Your paralysis also like removes all dots off of the target as you CC him. Now, this is going to be nice if you're running comps with a lot of dots, like a Warlock or S-Priest, and then the simple fact that it will apply your debuff. So you don't have to worry about, oh, you've got 4 seconds on Shadow Word Pain before I can CC. You can still go bam and CC. So that's something that I really like, and it's depending on comp. So if you're running with a dotting class, I would highly recommend it. Next change is Spear Hand Strike. Used on target that's facing the monk. Only silences them for 2 seconds now instead of 4. I'm not really sure why this was necessarily nerfed, but the 4 seconds was a bit much, where just to know they were locked out for that long where they couldn't cast was really high offensive buff. And with us already getting all these other crazy offensive buffs, I felt it could have been a little too much. I still obviously need to test a lot of this in Arena in depth, but hey, we still do have a silence. It's better than not having one altogether. The next change is Tiger's Lust and Touch of Karma no longer have a chi cost. That is awesome. I now know that anytime I want, I can go ahead and Tiger's Lust. Of course, when it's off cooldown. Or chi, not chi. Well, chi wave, yeah, it doesn't cost any chi either, but your Touch of Karma. Now, the simple fact that Touch of Karma doesn't cost any more chi is huge. Defensive buff that we definitely needed. How annoying was it when you guys would literally get stunned in Arena from full to dead instantly, even if you trinket and expel harm to get up the 2 chi, but then to get Touch of Karma off, you'd be dead. That extra global would seriously kill me so many times. You know, and I know it's frustrating when then you're like, oh, I need chi, and a warrior's parrying every move you do trying to get chi if expel harm's on cooldown. Well, now you don't have to worry about it. I could be, let's use up my chi real quick. Let's just do that. There. Okay, all chi used. I now know I could be like, oh, I'm getting nuked really hard. Bam. Okay, Touch of Karma, I'm alive. So that's a huge change I felt we really needed, and I'm going to be taking advantage of that for sure. Next thing about Tiger's Lust, once again, you can no longer stack other movement speed increase with Tiger's Lust. That means I can no longer do my Tiger's Lust and my Rocket Boots at the same time. It puts that in a like locked out cooldown. So sad. You guys have seen my videos before, and if you've been on stream, you've seen me do it 1,000 times just to get away from people or reset a fight. It's really awesome to have, but I could see why, because we could go from end to end in a battleground or anything real easy. So this is a change. I understand why they did it, but I'm going to miss it. Next change is Dampen Harm can now be used while stunned. Dampen Harm, if you remember, is a talent at the level 75 tier, where if you take more than 20% of your health and damage, it will cut that damage in half. And now you can use it while stunned. So say you were stunned by a rogue and you know you're about to take a lot of damage, you can pop it while stunned, just like a priest can do pain suppression. However, for me being fully geared out, I would have to get hit for over 74,000 damage for it to actually proc. That does not happen often. It's actually really rare. I know I'll take 100,000 damage in like 2 swings, but that's the thing. They're 2 separate swings. 50k and 50k will not proc it. It has to be one hit. So now if you're just starting to gear out and you're in blue gear and other people are in epic and they're crushing you pretty hard, Dampen Harm might be something you want to run. For physical damage, I usually run Healing Elixirs because they have buffed this as well, though. It now heals for 15% of your health instead of 10%. So let's see what mine heals for. Okay, took 123k. It heals for 56,000 damage on my health pool. So that's something I'm really going to like, and the simple fact that I don't really get to use Dampen Harm. So, use Diffuse Magic against spellcasters and magic damage, use Healing Elixirs against physical damage. That's what I go with. So, that's the Healing Elixirs change. Next thing is Chi Torpedo now does 15% more damage. I don't really use this ever as Windwalker. I only use Invoke Zune the White Tiger. I mean, come on, it's Zune. He's awesome. But if you do use Chi Torpedo, leveling I've seen people do and whatnot, it is a heal and it does do more damage as well now too. Mistweaver I had fun using as well, so that might be a change you guys really like. The next one. Healing Spheres now have a duration of 1 minute, and Healing Spheres generated by the Mastery Gift of the Serpent now have a duration of 30 seconds. I'm not a fan of, or not a fan, but I'm not really knowledgeable about Mistweaver. I don't know how much of a change that is for them, but having these last a minute, that's not really going to affect me that much, because if I am using it, it's because I'm low on health or I'm setting up an arena where usually I'll have to use them within that first minute. So, not too big of a change for me. Next thing is the Windwalker changes. Of course, one of the biggest Windwalker changes is the new level 75 ability, Storm, Earth, and Fire, which the icon looks like this. And what this does is it will split the monk, summoning an elemental spirit to attack the target. The monk can split in up to 2 elemental spirits at a time. The spirits will attack the target and mirror your damaging abilities. However, for each elemental spirit summoned, the monk's own damage will be reduced. One spirit, the monk and the spirit deal 60% of my damage. So if you do the math real quick, that's 120% damage. However, I'm only doing 60% of it, and so is the spirit. So it is more damage, but it's cut down at the same time. 2 spirits is 45, so me at 45, the one spirit at 45, and the other spirit at 45 should be 135% damage. So that's kind of cool, but at the same time, what if one is CC'd, and that's the thing, they're not on the same target. You can only have one spirit on a target at a time. So see, I'll have one on that one. Let's see if I can put another one on it. I can't. All it did was just call him back. So I could have one on him, and then one on him, and there, I've got 2 spirits up. Okay, see, they're just go ahead and white hitting right now. Now, if I Rising Sun Kick, watch it, I'll get Rising Sun Kick. Pretty cool. And if I do Fist of Fury, they're going to Fist of Fury as well. So it does do some damage. As you can see, it's a lot of numbers real quick. Now I want to see if I can just call back this one individually. Okay, cool. Yeah, I called him back. Awesome. Now I'll see with this one. This would be 120% of my normal damage compared to just 100% that I normally would be running. So in a 1v1 sense, I feel like these are definitely going to be usable because the simple fact that you're doubling the damage. Well, not doubling it, but you're actually gaining more damage out of it. So this is something I'm going to have to test in depth. As in arena settings, I'm on the fence about, because if he gets killed or whatnot right away, and then 60% damage, I wonder if it's instantly going to give me back the damage. Or what if I'm CC'd and only he's doing damage, it's only 60%. It's something I'm going to have to test in depth. So as of right now, I'm on the fence about it. I'm going to be using it a lot to see if I like it. I do like the actual animation. I mean, look at that. It's awesome right now. And it's pretty simple to understand how to use spell. To call him back, just reapply the spell on the same target he's on, and you'll call him right back. So that's the Storm, Earth, and Fire change. The next one is Spinning Fire Blossom's damage has been adjusted to scale from weapon damage instead of attack power. This was a nerf to Spinning Fire Blossom. If you guys have watched the vids before, I love using Spinning Fire Blossom on targets that are farther away or plate in male classes because it ignores armor. So now, you know, it's hitting for 24k, and this is a level 60 target dummy. It originally would hit for a lot more. But the simple fact is, I would crit really hard sometimes against people, especially if they're over the 20-yard range. I was critting fully geared warrior 60k for 1 chi at a 30-yard range. That's, or can it go further than 30? I think it might be, wow, 50. Yeah, so I can understand why the damage got toned down, but am I happy about it? Absolutely not. But still, I feel it's still a viable spell. This would be something I'm still going to use against plate and mail and whatnot, just for the extra damage. The next change is Combo Breaker, which was our original mastery, which would give us a free Tiger Palm and Blackout Kicks, is now a passive, you know, just a passive we get at level, I think, 15. And it gives us a 12% chance to make our next Blackout Kick or Tiger Palm cost no chi. We still have that, but you guys might be like, but Ravedge, whatever happened to our mastery? What is it now? Well, now it is something even better in my mind. Now with the mastery changes, Tiger Eye Brew no longer just stacks up to 10 times. For starters, Tiger Eye Brew does not require 4 chi spent to stack up. It only requires 3 spent. So that's a buff. It used to be 2 chi only on the PTR originally, but it was way too easy to get 10 stacks. Like, I pretty much always had the buff up. In a raid aspect, you would pretty much always have the Tiger Eye Brew buff up. But as you can see, I can build up past 10 stacks. However, when I consume Tiger Eye Brew, it only consumes 10 of the stacks. With the changes to Tiger Eye Brew, though, it originally now only grants 1% increased damage for a stack, but our mastery now will increase the amount our Tiger Eye Brew bonus damage by a percentage. With me stacking mastery right now, I'm at 2.41% extra damage to my Tiger Eye Brew. So every stack of Tiger Eye Brew is granting me 3.41% damage increase. So 10 stacks, 34% damage for 15 seconds. That is awesome. So let's see real quick, okay? I'm going to go ahead and consume my Tiger Eye Brew and read it. 34% damage increase. I'm going to have some really big crits in my mind. Look right there, that was 124k Rising Sun Kick hit. This is going to have crazy damage output. Crazy damage output. So when you line up your cooldowns and do them accordingly, and the fact that we can build up Tiger Eye Brew more easily now, this is going to be something that's going to be used a lot more. PvP, arena, BGs, raiding, everything. We're going to just see a overall damage increase across the board. So as you can see, I've switched to mastery stuff. Like my necklaces of, I think it's of prowess is the stuff that has mastery on it. So my cape, my neck, you know, stuff like that. And I try and stack mastery. I'm going to try and boost that as much as possible so I can get some big numbers and wreck some noobs. So that's the change to the Tiger Eye Brew and the new mastery. And the last change I'm going to talk about is Rising Sun Kick. Now causes the monk's abilities to inflict an additional 10% damage instead of 15%. They've nerfed our damage in a lot of places, but they buffed it a lot in other places. I feel overall we did gain more damage out of this patch, guys, so I'm not going to go ahead and necessarily flame Blizzard for this yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm liking the changes. I mean, come on. Nimble Brew, the Storm, Earth, and Fire. We got a lot of awesome changes with this patch, so what did you guys think of the patch? Are you as psyched about it as I am? I mean, right now, let's see how many people are online. 20 people online. Look at all these monks, guys. Look at it. All that. Look at all those monks. So proud. Everyone that's in the guild, so proud. If you want to join guild, guys, just whisper any one of us. It's free invites. You do not have to be a monk. I don't care what class. Just be here to have some fun because we have a lot of fun right now. And with 5.2, we're going to be having all that much more fun. So this is my first vid of 5.2. I'm going to be throwing out a lot more content with, you know, this patch being live. I've been waiting for it, and now it's finally here. I'm just so excited to be on my monk once again. So if you did enjoy, please like, fave, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And this is Ravedge saying thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the BGs.